All right, now that we have executions running, let's look at how can we output things from our executions so we can access some files even after the execution has completed. You might want to save, for example, the trained model file. You might want to save some CSV files, JSON files, images, and so on from your execution. To do this on Valahai, what you need to do is you need to save the files into the outputs folder. And then from the outputs folder, Valahai will automatically upload the data up to your cloud storage. So let's look at how to do this in the code. First of all, we need to figure out where's the output directory. For that, we're going to create a new variable, output path, and we're going to get it by saying os.getM vh_outputs_directory or dir. This will give us the address of the output folder on the machine where Valahai is running our execution. And then we can save, for example, our trained model by just doing model save and then joining together the output path and saying model.h5. This will basically save our file as something like /valahai/outputs/model.h5. It's as simple as that. And any file that you want to save, you just save it over there to the output path, and Valahai will make sure to upload these files to your cloud storage. Now you could go and commit your code to GitHub, and then once changes have been pushed over there, you can fetch a new version from your source control into Valahai and then run a new execution step. Or you can use our command line tools and just do vh, Valahai, execution, run, train. Train is for the train MNIST model, and ad hoc. Ad hoc means don't go to source control to find a new version, just use the code that I have on my machine saved over here in this folder, upload that up to Valahai and use that. Let's hit enter. What happens? It found our files on the local machine and it's uploading our ad hoc code and it created execution number 2. So we go to our browser, we now see that we have execution number 2 over here. And you can see under logs that it is running through the execution in the same way as previously, except now at the end, we'll see an additional step. Over here, it's now saying output 1 out of 1. Uploading model 8.h5, uploading to S3 bucket Valahai data, and upload complete. And on the execution's outputs, we can now find that we have a model H5 and it's located in the Valahai managed S3 store in EU West in our case. And you can download, purge it, get a link to it, access it later on, so on. The thing is, by default, everything goes to that Valahai managed S3 store. And only you'll have access to that file. And we basically give the project owners access, so everybody who has access to this project will have access to that model.h5 as well on the S3 bucket, your own. But what if you want to store all of these output files in your own cloud storage? Let it be on AWS, Azure, or something else. So we can configure it up by going into our project settings. In our project settings, going to data stores. And over here, we can set up a new data store. Now, I've already set up a data store on AWS and S3 bucket called DD Valahai sample. So I can go and create a new S3 store here. I'll give the store name. That's basically what we're going to call it on the Valahai end. And the bucket name is what's being called on the AWS end. It can be the same name. Then I've added a user that has access to upload files here. So I'm just going to give the access key and the secret access key here. And then I'm going to say that this is an EU West one. Now, how did I create that store? How did I create those access rights? What happened there? That's all described in our documentation and in our quick start tutorial, so you can go check those out from there. The last part is needed if you're uploading files that are over 5 gigabits large. In our case, we don't do that, so we can just create this store as is. That store is now created and exists in our project. What we can now do is, in our project, we can, under the General tab, change the default upload store and say DD Valahai sample. This way, every time I upload something, by default, it will get stored into my S3 bucket. Save. And now what I can do is I can just copy an old execution and create a new execution out of that old one. So I'm just reproducing the same execution I had last time. The only thing I want to see is that this time it doesn't go to the Valahai managed S3 store, but it goes into my own S3 bucket. So we're going to see that as it runs through the epochs over here. And last stage will be the uploading part, and then we'll be able to see it appearing under our store. So as you can see here, uploading model 5, uploading to S3 bucket DD Valahai sample, upload complete. And now if I go to check it out in my S3 bucket, I'll find it over there as well. In the next video, we're going to be looking into we're going to be looking at how to collect additional metrics from your executions, how to track them, how to compare them, how to visualize them. So next up, Valahai metadata.